Hey guys, what's up? Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. Welcome back. So today what I'm going to be talking about is customizing your instrument, customizing your electric guitar. In this case, I'm using my Fender Strat as the example because this is the one that I've done the most amount of work to. Some of you might recognize this guitar for several of my videos. You know, when I did the Guitar Week video, this was in there. But yeah, I wanted to talk about customizing your own instrument because it's a really fun, relatively inexpensive to do yourself. Very simple to do. You know, if you think of this as a machine, which it really is an extremely simple machine. Extremely simple to work on and to maintain it. And with just a little bit of basic knowledge of soldering, which there's lots of videos on YouTube about. Soldering is really simple. Once you get a soldering gun and some solder, it's a very cheap thing. The soldering gun package is like 20 bucks at Radio Shack. So this guitar, I'm going to start down here. I started, let's actually start with what it used to be. This originated as a Fender Stratocaster Plus Deluxe back in 1993. Since then, I've been, chipping away at it, putting all sorts of new stuff on it. So it came with lace sensor pickups. I think it was like one silver, one blue, and one red. I'm not a huge fan of lace sensor pickups. They lasted about 6 months on this guitar before I replaced them with these, which are Texas Specials. If you're like a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, Texas Specials are a good way to, start getting that real beefy, round Stevie tone. The Texas Specials are great pickups, and I love them. But there's tons of aftermarket pickups available, so read and listen. But me personally, Texas Specials, can't go wrong. Now below that, you can see I have this bridge, which is not original. This is a Wilkinson bridge. These are great things. They've been updated, I think, a little bit, but pretty much still look like this. And I will say, this was probably one of the most dramatic things. Yeah, the pickups were a big change, but the way that it felt, the way the strings felt under my fingers, the vibrations, and the overall action, the sustain, all that kind of stuff, this bridge made a massive difference. And I was very surprised. A couple players that were friends of mine, that are friends of mine, had, they all had these on their Strats, and I was, I played them, and I was like, God, this thing's awesome. And they all attributed it to the Wilkinson, and I can attest to that. Wilkinson bridges are great. Now, if you're curious about how to switch it, it's really simple. You take the strings off, you take the springs off here, and then it literally, the bridge just lifts, boom, right out. You can see it's just resting on these two posts right here and right here. It's literally the pressure of the strings and the strings and the springs in the back. That's what's holding it onto those posts. And they have it this way, so if you had a whammy bar, I don't use the whammy bar, but just sort of so it can rock on those posts. Now that being said, I don't use the whammy bar, and if you don't either, I recommend this. What I do is add these two black springs right here, which you can buy these at any guitar shop. They should have springs. If it's any guitar shop worth its weight, it should have springs for a Strat. So you add some extra springs, and then you take the screws here and you just crank them down until the bridge touches the body. And that way, when I break a string, the bridge isn't floating, so it doesn't go, totally out of tune. It doesn't get all whacked out. So that's a really, cheap, easy trick if you don't use the whammy bar. The other thing that I've done to this guitar was I changed the tuners on it. I use these Planet Wave string cutting tuners. They were cheap. They were, I think like 50 bucks for the set. The old tuners on here were starting to go, and I wanted to try something new. I really ended up liking the Planet Wave ones. You basically put the string through the hole just like anything else. Standard locking tuner idea, you tighten these down, and then as soon as you start tuning it, after like 1 or 2 turns, it actually just cuts the string for you. So if you're a live player and you don't do a lot of alternative tunings, this will handle E flat and drop D, no problem with these tuners. Anything like really below, I'd say a whole step or below, you might have some trouble with these. But if you're not somebody who does that like me, these work really, really nicely. They look great. I really like the way they are, sort of like chrome and black. I think it's sort of like custom choppery, super cool. But besides that, I have changed the switch with time, which is really an easy thing to do. They go bad over time. And I have also changed all the potentiometers in here. But you know, like I was saying before, it's really easy, really fun, and what you end up with is like a really, I don't know, sort of like a personal connection with your instrument, and it really makes a difference. When I play this guitar, I feel something different. I love my Telecaster, I use it all the time, but that one's pretty much stock. It came out of the factory just the way I like them. But the Strat here, the lace sensors, blech, I had to get rid of them. And if you like your lace sensors, that's fine. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan. But anyway, yeah, it's a really fun, you know, afternoon project. And over time, all these little differences that you make, will, you know, the compounding factor is suddenly, you know, after a lot of time of changing stuff, there will be a dramatic difference in the tone. Now, all that being said, if you're sort of just sitting there going, well, geez, I don't even know where to start with my tone, or if you don't like your tone, if you're trying to figure out how to beef it up, like most people, I recommend starting with changing strings. Use a heavier gauge. This is the cheapest, easiest way to beef up your tone. You have to think of the fact that, you know, all these little poles on these pickups are emitting a small magnetic field. So if you put on bigger strings, you know, heavier strings, you're giving those magnetic fields something to grab onto, more stuff to grab onto you, so you get a bigger, beefier tone. Like if you're a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan like I am, he used 12s. You know, he used 12s on his guitars. If you've ever played a Strat with 12s on it, it's like playing an acoustic guitar with heavy strings. I mean, it's a really challenging thing to do, but that's how you get that tone. All Fenders come with 9s on them. I'm not a big fan of 9s. You know, this has 10s on them, 10s on it, and I'm probably actually going to beef it up to 11s pretty soon. You know, my taste has changed and my style has changed a little bit, and I think I'm going to beef it up. But yeah, just changing your strings to a heavier gauge is the easiest way to change your tone. So, I think that's enough of me yakking at you guys for the day. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can. And don't forget, you know, every Sunday at 6 o'clock, I do a live webcast on my website, GaragebandandBeyond.com. Every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by. I'll answer all your questions. And so that's it. Subscribe to my channel. Blah, 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 blah. I love you guys. See you later.